Good evening and welcome to Mystery Card Live. I'm Nancy Dodge from YB Stamp. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I hope you enjoy this card that we're going to make tonight. I really had a lot of fun making it, believe it or not. Alright, I hope you had a chance to gather your supplies. The supplies I have written down are a piece of 11 inch by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock in that same cardstock, 6 inches by 3 inches, and another one 3 inches by 3 inches. Designer series paper, a piece that's 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and a piece, or I should say 4 pieces that are 1.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And you can cut 4 and use like the front and back. So we're going to use the 2 different designs in this so that it'll alternate. I know I'm giving away clues, but anyway, white, vanilla, or beige. I want you to cut 3 pieces of 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Coordinating scrap cardstock for die cuts, which I hope you did in advance. You might not have, but if you don't have any a die cut machine and dies, you can definitely use stamps. Coordinating inks, sentiments, scorer, trimmer, adhesives of choice, bone folder, and embellishments. Alrighty, on to clue number 1. We are going to score our 11 inch by 5.5 inch cardstock at 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. And then I want to burnish it starting with the 7 inch mark and scoring and burnishing in a zigzag. Alright, that might sound confusing, but I will show you. So take your cardstock in your, I use the trimmer because that's what I have and that's what I like. I actually have the scorer, but I don't really like it. So anyway, the first mark is at 1 3/4. So I'm going to find 1 3/4 and bring down my score. And then 3 1/2 and score. 5 1/4 and score. And then I'm gonna, this is one of the things I really like about Stampin' Up's trimmer score, is I can pull this out. And the last one is at 7 inches. So I'm putting it at 7. Uh-oh, I went and cut it. Wasn't paying attention. Well, it's only half cut. That's alright, we'll make it work. Sorry about that. See, we all make mistakes, don't we? Okay, now we're going to start with the 7 inch one and fold it over. Take our bone folder and burnish it. And then we're going to zigzag back. Make sure it's all lined up in case you have to realign to make these even. And then this one, as you can see, it's in a zigzag. And then the one on the top, like so. So this is what it looks like. Okay? So that's clue number 1. Alright, let's see what clue number 2 is. Clue number 2. Adhere the 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch DSP to large section of card. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I know some people have a preference. They like glue or Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape, but whatever your adhesive of choice is, we're going to put this here, like so. Okay? That is clue number 2. Clue number 3. Stamp sentiment on one of the 2 3/4 inch squares of white, vanilla, beige, and then adhere to the 3 inch piece. the 3-inch square piece of cardstock. Okay, so that is here and then here. So let's see, and you must have sentiments that you want. I thought I would put thanks for being you, just in that mode, I guess. And my ink of choice. Oops, sorry for the squeak. Now you could actually put whatever you want on this. If you prefer to stamp an image on it, by all means, go right ahead. This is your card. And if you know me, I gotta wash and dry, because I will end up with berry burst all over me and all over my card. Alrighty. Gotta put that back. And then I'm going to put this on here. Whoops. In the middle. Okay. That's clue number 3. Clue number 4. Adhere to the center of the DSP on the card. Well, that's easy enough. Alright. Try to get it as even as I can. Time will tell, right? Alrighty. Clue number 5. Adhere the 4 DSP pieces to the 4 sections of the card, alternate pattern, and make sure they all line up on the bottom. Alright, so here are my 4 pieces. And I didn't want this side because I thought that that was too much. So I picked a different one that has that same color in it. And I am going to alternate. There we go. While I'm doing this, I hope you all had a good weekend. I ended up driving up to Maine and seeing a longtime friend. It was very nice. My husband and I had dinner with her and her husband. Now you can alternate these any way you want. This is pretty too, isn't it? But I wanted the the color, so see how I'm making sure I line that up top and bottom. Alright. Yeah, traffic was really bad on the way up, and of course I was driving. And then on the way home, when my husband was driving, it was a piece of cake. Where's the justice in that, huh? Alright, last piece. Sometimes I hate covering up the DSP on the other side because it's so pretty, but duty calls, right? Alright, last piece. There we go. So yours should look like that. Well, not exactly my DSP and my cardstock because you're using different, I'm sure. I try to make these so that it's easy for you to follow no matter what DSP, cardstock, stamp set you're using. So I hope I'm doing that. Okay. Clue number 6. Score the 6x3 cardstock at 3 inches. Adhere to card by lining up with inside square and adding adhesive to the inside 1/2 inch from left and right. Alrighty. Here is my 6-inch piece. Get my trimmer. Go to 3 inches. Alright, then I want to burnish. And then, here's my card base. So I'm going to line it up like this. So I want 1/2 inch on the insides, like so, of adhesive. I'm going to line this up with the card, with the piece that we mounted on the DSP, to make sure it's exactly where it is. Then I'm going to close this and then close the card completely and fold this over and adhere. So it looks like this. Okay? Alright, that was clue number 6. Clue number 7. Arrange your die cuts on one of the 2 3/4, 2 3/4 pieces of vanilla white beige. Adhere into place. Which is, yeah. So if you are stamping, then by all means take your stamps and stamp away. If you have die cuts, just kind of, I have a whole bunch here that I cut up. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to use. There we go. But I knew that I wanted to use some of these in some form or fashion. So I'm going to use, this is my multi-purpose glue, just this, that I put in this little container. And then I keep it upside down on this little holder that my son-in-law and business partner made on their 3D printer. But I like this because I can just put a little bit of glue, a little dabble do. Wasn't there a commercial that did that? And you can make it go off a little bit, like so, if you want. But it's your card. Do as you want, like I say. Okay, now I want this on here. So I think I'll probably end up cutting it down, but use your pieces however you see fit. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. To make my flower. It's sticky. Well, let's see, what else should I use? I don't know, I don't want to make it too busy. Like I said, everyone's is different. I don't know, maybe I put too many down. I guess time will tell. Just going to add adhesive. See how thin this comes out? That's why I like it, just a little bit. See? Okay. Maybe that'll be less busy. Alrighty. I don't know, maybe I just put 2 on. I do like it. And I mean, you could put dimensionals on if you wanted. Maybe I'll just use those. I can use these for something else, or the inside, whichever. Okay, that's good enough, I think. But maybe I'll add more later. All right, clue number 8. Adhere die cut decorated piece to the left section and the plain piece, because you should have one more, to the right. Okay, so I'm going to add seal to both of these pieces. Oops. Put this on the front, right in the center, and then this one, so that you have a little space to, you know, write something to whoever you give the card to. Like so. Alrighty. That was clue number 8. Clue number 9. Embellish as desired. Ooh, I don't know if I pulled out any pieces. Thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Well, let's see. I did pull out pieces, but I don't know where I put them. I don't know. I'm going to pull out my pile of embellishments. Have you guys ever seen this before? These are all my embellishments. Silly, silly, I know. I think I'll use these Strawberry Slash because they kind of go with this Berry Burst. Alright, I'm going to close this. I'll put one up here. And I'll put some down here. Maybe a big one and a little one. Alright. There's my card. I would love to see yours. I'm going to post these on Facebook. And I would love to see what you've done with these clues. So that's what I've got. This one. So the first one I did was, so I did this one with the sailboat. I'm trying to show you that it does not matter what DSP you use, what color cardstock you use. So there's my little ship. And then I used this one for the books, just for a little something a little jazzy. And then this one was the first one I did. So there we have 4 cards, same pattern, and then here's the one we just did. Alrighty. I hope your card came out great. Anyway, I will be back next Sunday with Back to Basics. So until then, happy stamping.